Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, probably there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Hey guys, welcome to tonight's episode of What's the Word, where our Mythic Wyrd group get together just for a general chat, a chance for you guys to get to know us. My name is Nordz. I play Osiris in our campaign, and this is my companion.
Do you know my real name?
Dario?
Yeah. I'm Cody. I play Daario. Father Bell's acquaintance.
Yeah, so Dario and Father Bell have quite an interesting relationship, which is going to be pretty awesome. It's really interesting. We came up with the concept at the start of the campaign because Father Bell was introduced in this actual campaign, whereas Dario was from previous seasons. But despite being, how many sessions are we in now?
Like 14.
14. I feel like we haven't really had a chance to actually explore that properly, have we?
I think we've had like maybe 2 conversations.
Yeah.
It's been weird.
So I'm actually pretty excited to be able to for us to be able to discuss it, and also let obviously our viewers know a bit more about the relationship as well. So, how does Daario feel about the relationship with Father Bell?
It's strange at the moment because I think a lot of the other members will see Daario referring to Father Bell as like this important figure in his life, this father figure. But then they see him like say one sentence to each other, like So it's a bit strange, but I think for Daario, it's good to be back.
Yep,
it's good. Like, again, Father Bell is a prominent figure. Hopefully, we can delve into that a bit more later into the season. It's just been so weird.
Yeah, it's interesting you say. It's even interesting like when you say everyone else has only seen them sort of have one or two sentences together. From Father Bell's perspective, he purposely does that kind of thing more so for Daario's protection because it's such a big sort of game of houses and very political. He doesn't want to be seen sort of favoring Daario over other people, whereas he personally, he's got a real soft spot for Daario, but in the open, it's not something that he's willing to show, which he thinks that Daario mutually understands that, understands the reasoning. Being, obviously growing up in the court, you would understand the ramifications of the political games.
100%, and I feel like Father Bell, he uses that to his advantage. When almost anyone talks to him, he almost talks in riddles and diverts the attention away from what they actually want to know. Yeah. Which is such a cool character trait itself.
I've got to admit, I'm really enjoying playing him. It's pretty cool.
For a lot of those that have seen previously, so different to Thalion, which you played in the past.
Yep.
So it shows that you've got a lot of range.
Cool. Thalion had like one mode. It was pretty much rage. He was your typical barbarian, but completely different now.
That's very cool.
And so what's Daario think about what's happening now that he's back in his hometown? Like, be a bit of a culture shock. Like, you've been away for how long?
I think it's about 8 years.
8 years, yeah. I didn't realize it was that long. Me
neither.
Because how old's Daario now?
So when we first started, he was about 21, 22. So I think roughly about now it's about 23, 24.
Yeah, right. Oh, so super young when you left.
Yeah, there's a whole... Again, I think we've mentioned it before, but Daario's had a bit of a rough childhood.
Yeah.
And he felt he could learn more.
Yeah.
Seeing what the world's actually like.
Yeah.
Growing up in a palace.
Yeah.
You get fed with a silver spoon.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's definitely helped him understand the world a bit more.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, one of the biggest shocks in seeing Daario, like we'd always heard about your dad, Soren Valandil. Yeah. So we'd heard so much about his character traits from the DM and the relationship between Daario and his dad. That first interaction you guys had together just was completely not what I expected.
That threw me off as well.
Yeah.
Because, talking with the DM and again, but because Daario's been gone for so long, it makes sense that he would change over 8 years. He wouldn't be the same.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I actually love how Soren's played. I actually really like his personality, despite his clashes with Father Bell. It's I understand it, you know, and that shift mentally just makes sense because it would be mentally draining having all of these sort of things to juggle and being the one person that's supposed to make it balance, but you literally everywhere you look is problems. Every border is surrounded with problems.
Yeah.
What's Daario think of that, actually? Because there's been a few talks about Daario doing things differently.
Yeah, so Daario still, he's not sure how it's being run at the moment.
Yeah.
And again, hopefully leading back to Father Bell, like, he's hoping he can talk to him, get some more understanding.
Yep.
But it's a shock, you know. Like, things were very different last time he was here, and it's like there's wars on multiple fronts.
Yeah.
People aren't happy. People are getting just treated unfairly, and you know, that's
does he blame his dad, or what's Daario think is the reason for this?
He lacks understanding of what his father's doing. When Daario talks to his dad, it's so weird. In my head, I'm like, I'm gonna show him what's up, but then the way the DM handles it, it feels like I'm talking to my dad. I haven't seen
it. Actually makes you feel like a child.
Yeah, I feel like I'm being put down a couple of times. It's really weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so Dario's lacking understanding for sure.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can figure something out.
So I guess he's not really, I suppose, blaming his dad. He just, it's interesting. It's almost like he just wants it to be better, but he doesn't really understand what or how needs to be done to make that happen, right?
100%.
Yeah.
He feels like there's chess. It's a chess game, and he feels pieces moving against him all the time. Yeah.
So does he feel like his father, like, does he sympathize with his dad's position, or does he think that someone else should be in his place?
I think he's definitely seen the toll taken on him.
Yeah.
Again, Dario's young. He feels like he can do a better job. He just wants his people to be looked after, his people to be safe.
Yeah.
Especially now, he's lost friends, you know, in this war.
Yeah.
He's unsure if it's worth it.
Yeah.
But with Father Bell, you know, you've created this character.
Yeah.
You know, you've got this whole backstory. How do you feel being thrusted into a position of power?
It's so weird because for Father Bell, he's always, I feel like, consciously, like, as Nordz, there's things that I want to do, but thinking as Father Bell, it's finding that balance of, okay, would Father Bell do this, right?
Yeah.
So because even though he's in this sort of political game and the position of power that he's in, for Father Bell, it's I always have to remember that, you know, his first and only real call and, you know, reason in life is to serve Sigma and to, you know, vanquish evil and, you know, all that side of it and bring light to the dark places of the world. So, although in saying that, the flip side of it, he also understands that in order to be able to do that and to maintain his position of power that he is in, he has to some extent, get involved in the political game, you know. So it's finding that balance, but it's always, you know, do what he must to protect those that are around him without sort of stepping over the line. And if it becomes a choice between, you know, his religion and the complexity of the realm, it'll always come back to religion for him. Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, so it's pretty tricky to play. There's been a few situations like, you know, when he was out the front of Chevet's Needle and Thread, for example, with what was his name?
Is this episode 13?
I think so. Yeah. Like that was a really, really hard situation for him with the, you know, captain of the guard there, because obviously he's not gonna let himself you know, be harmed, but at the same time he is not gonna harm what he sees as an innocent person that's just naive and stupid and has power in his head, right? So he's trying to diffuse that situation, and then having, you know, Silver into the situation and then help try and diffuse that whole situation and get everyone out of it was a tricky situation for Father Bell. Yeah.
Father Bell is definitely a character with lots of things going on.
Yeah.
And we are only finding out bits and pieces at a time.
I'm so excited for future episodes, actually, just to delve more into that. We do have a few questions actually from our not our sponsors, our viewers actually, which is awesome. So thanks, guys. These have actually come from one of our Patreon subscribers, Chatty Momo. So first of all, thank you so much to you and all our other Patreon subscribers. You guys are awesome. You know, definitely help make this possible. But Chatty Momo has a few questions for us. The first being for you. So how did Daario lose his eye?
So this is back in season 1. If you guys actually watch that episode, you'll notice how different it looks. But Daario lost his eye due to Silver's old character. Susano was one of the big baddies.
It was that far back.
Yeah, it was a long time.
Yeah.
But we were all paralyzed, and in D&D you plan something, and your plans never get to happen, which is kind of like real life, which is good. So Daario winked at him, hoping it would create some sort of dialogue, and Susano, being the messed up guy, is like, oh yeah, you know, slicey.
Yeah, he had us in a frozen state, didn't he? And took out your eye. Yeah.
It's good times.
Yeah. Look, guys, if you know, we're constantly improving, so our episodes definitely weren't as clean back then as far as audio and the sound stuff, but definitely worth a watch because it was pretty epic. Chatty Momo, if you want to know how he lost his eye, definitely go watch it. We'll put a link somewhere into where that episode was for you.
100%.
And then secondly, what is Father Bell's religion? Also from Chatty Momo. So Chatty Momo, Father Bell is what's known as a Sigmarite. He serves Sigma, who is, you know, a deity of light. He wields a warhammer, and there's like a whole lore and religion around it, which we won't delve into in this video, but we'll slowly get some information up on that for you and other people that are interested. But yeah, he is a Sigmarite and serves Sigma.
Thanks again, Chatty Momo. Good questions.
Yeah, really good. Yeah. If anyone else has any, please send them through, because it helps us as well with these discussions to know what you guys are after, and then we can obviously discuss them as well, which 100%. Is awesome. Yeah. And
we have polls on Instagram all the time, so feel free to check us out there.
Definitely. So what's next for Daario at the moment? Because last episode you were left in a pretty awkward position, weren't you?
Yeah, it's a bit weird. It's tricky. You want to do stuff that's right for the party, but then you want to play it in a way where, what would my character do?
Yep.
You know? So it's definitely tough where it's going to go.
Yeah.
You know, we came from season 2, which was helping one of our allies when they returned home, and it was a mess.
Yes.
And now it's similar thing. So Daario's, he just doesn't want it to end up like the bad things that happened before. He doesn't want them to repeat.
Yeah, I feel like this season is really Daario's season and his moment to shine and bring his people, you know, some sort of solitude and peace, and you know, to his people and to the realm. Which I don't think we've delved into much because it's just been so chaotic with everything that's going on. But it's going to be really, really, really interesting how that plays out. You know, actually, one thing I would be interested in knowing is Daario's stance on what's happening on the borders. You know, because you've obviously got on one side you've got the border of Slovenia and all the dark, messed up stuff that's happening there, which is more like a, you know, I guess a supernatural threat of of evil,
Mm-hmm.
and then you've got the sort of the civil and human side of on the other borders over politics and land and all the rest of it. What does Dario feel is the bigger threat? And because I know from your father's perspective, it's more so that, well, my understanding is that the fight over the border is more important. And I don't know, the DM mentioned a few things like he used to be a bigger believer in Sigma, and maybe the threat on Slovenia at one point would have been a bigger issue for him.
Yeah.
But I feel like now, as he's aged and he's just got problems everywhere, it's more like, well, it's just another problem. But where does Dario stand?
Well, we saw a little bit of what Dario thinks in episode 14.
Yep.
He was talking to Save at Lady De Winter's manor.
Yep.
He sees a lot of it as being pointless because of the toll that it's taken on his people and his family.
Yeah.
If it was up to him, he'd take a step back, reevaluate, look after the people.
Yeah.
And he's got some plans, which hopefully we can delve into in the next couple episodes.
Yeah.
He wants to move to a more defensive position, and if he deems that isn't like worth it, he would take a step back and just do what he thinks is right to do.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Are we going to get any more interaction with his lady love in Kislev and sort of supporting the borders? There was a promise made there.
There was. And Dario does think about that a lot. Like, more the promise and his word being kept.
Yep.
One of my favorite scenes, personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely has some ideas.
I love how honourable he is and how he does try to stick to his word. So, yeah.
It's been hard this season.
It has been, yeah.
Because a lot of people he thought he knew.
Yeah.
He doesn't know anymore. Yeah,
and I feel like that was a pretty big promise that Dario made. So now that he's back at home in a position where he could do something, it'd be interesting to see how he handles that, actually.
So it's exciting to be able to explore.
Yeah, and I know from your perspective for Dario, you're still sort of treading and working out, what is your extent of power in this, right? Because that's hard as well, because you are technically the prince, but so is your brother, which we haven't even discussed, Oh,
yeah.
But yeah, so I feel like, once you sort of work that out a bit more, it'll be interesting to see how you use that power.
100%. Quickly, because you did mention my brother Tommen.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see, because Dario's father was distant in childhood. You were a big part in his life and his brother's life.
Yep.
Now, if you guys are up to date, should we mention that now?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it was a few episodes ago it was revealed, yeah.
So, spoil if you haven't seen it. If you haven't, feel free to
Yeah, this is your spoiler alert, so.
Dario's brother Tommen is the Black Mace, which is kind of the underground, almost like a mafia type person.
Yeah.
Which Dario's just found out about. Has Father Bell known about it for a while?
Despite what the rest of the party thinks, no.
No?
So he found out from Bonaire.
Yeah.
And Bonaire only found out when Drea found out. So that was all new to everyone.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Now, how does Father Bell feel about that?
Yeah, it's first of all, what the hell?
Yeah.
But from Father Bell's perspective, there's not a lot that disappoints him, but he actually feels disappointed. Like, as strange as that is, because he's not actually his father, but he just feels that, whatever led him down this path was potentially his inability to instill the light of Sigma into him, and it does take a bit of toll on him personally. But separately to that, for Father Bell's very calculated, and he's very, there's always problems, and it's the order of priority of those problems. And with, the end of the world looming, and Slovenia and all the rest of it, it's more disappointing than him, and something that has to be dealt with at a later time. Yeah. And I think for Father Bell as well, it's he's more disappointed for you as well. You know, knowing that that is your brother and how that's going to affect you. You know, so yeah, but yeah, disappointed. Yeah.
Yeah, that would hurt to hear.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. But we'll see how it plays out, I guess. I think, for today, I think that's all we've got time for.
Yeah,
it's going to be super exciting the next few sessions. I'm really excited to see where Daario sort of goes down this path with everything that's happening. His brother, you know, the kingdom itself, your father, your relationship with Father Bell.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for supporting us and watching. Chatty Momo, thank you once again, and all our other Patreon subscribers. Your support is greatly appreciated. Please like, subscribe, share, and help us to continue growing, and we'll continue to put out this content. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone, and always spread the mythic word.
Spread the mythic word. There you go. Yeah, it's good. It's interesting.